All right, we have a busy agenda this morning. Let's go right to it. So, Lauren, could you start us off and get us rolling?
I'd like to request a motion and a second to call to order the September 11, 2014 meeting of the SONYMA Mortgage Insurance Committee. The motion and second recorded will be used for all action items before the committee unless specific items call for a different vote or unless any committee member wishes to record his or her vote differently. The minutes of the meeting of the Mortgage Insurance Committee held on July 10, 2014 shall be deemed approved, absent corrections from the directors.
We'll now move to the committee program action items. Item number 2 in your papers is a resolution recommending the approval of 100% mortgage insurance on the $15.65 million HFA permanent first mortgage loan for LaPorte Apartments on Gramerton Avenue in Mount Vernon in Westchester.
And LaPorte Apartments is the new construction of 158 low-income units in Mount Vernon. This is part of a mixed-use building, which will include 20,000 square feet of ground floor commercial space and a municipal parking garage. The overall project is structured with separate residential, commercial, and garage condominium units. The insured loan will cover only the residential condominium. The borrower will also be paying to rehab a nearby garage, which will provide dedicated parking for the units. In addition to the insured HFA loan, the project will benefit from $24 million in federal low-income tax credits, a $3.7 million HFA subordinate loan, a New York State Senate loan of $3 million, $2 million from Homes for Working Families, $1.5 million for a home loan from the City of Mount Vernon, a community development block grant of $1.6 million, and a pilot with the City of Mount Vernon. The borrowing entity is controlled by Peter Fine and Ken Knuckles. Peter Fine is the principal of Atlantic Development, which has done previous projects that were financed by HFA and insured by SONYMA. The loan amount is $98,000 per unit, which equals 27% of the project's total development cost of $363,000 per unit, and will break even with 9% vacancy or an 11% increase in operating expenses.
Sounds like a great project, lots of subsidies.
Yes.
It's nice when you see that the developers know how to bring in all that subsidy, use what the government
Subsidy
wants
was
on.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? I mean, so,
I don't remember ever seeing a Senate one before.
right, yeah, I agree. So, any other thoughts, comments? Hearing none?
Okay. The resolution before the committee is recommending approval of mortgage insurance and a commitment for the provision thereof for LaPorte Apartments, 203 Gramerton Avenue, Mount Vernon, Westchester County, assuming the first and second, which actually I don't think we got. We requested but did not get
First and second.
So if we could have a first and a second retroactively.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. So assuming those first and second, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And the motion is carried.
Item number 3 has been withdrawn, so we'll move straight to item number 4, which is a resolution recommending the approval of 100% mortgage insurance on a $7.95 million HFA mortgage loan for Stuyck Park Apartments on New York Avenue in Brooklyn and Kings County. Lauren?
Stuyck Park Apartments is the acquisition and rehabilitation of a 102-unit low-income Mitchell-Lama project for seniors. It was built in 1973 and financed by HFA. It's located in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. In addition to the insured loan, the project will benefit from $8 million in federal low-income housing tax credits, a project-based HAP contract covering 101 units, and an Article 11 tax abatement. The project also has a 236 IRP subsidy, but that will expire prior to conversion to the permanent loan. Stuyck Park Housing Company, the original not-for-profit owner, will remain in the ownership following a related party acquisition. Christopher Bramwell and Benathan Upshaw will control the managing member, and management going forward will be Shinda Management Corp., in which Christopher Bramwell has an interest. The loan amount is $77,185 per unit, which equals 30% of the total development cost of $258,371 per unit. And the project breaks even with a 10% increase in operating expenses or an 11% vacancy rate.
The only question I had was that they have 102 occupied apartments. What are they doing? Do they have a few unoccupied to be putting people in? I mean, that was my only question. It says it's fully occupied, and I just thought, wow,
Yeah.
what are they doing
I think
to
they
these
just,
people
Marion,
while they're doing this?
I think they just rotate. I think this is,
Yeah, they will.
in occupancy, so I think they have to be making some
'cause
accommodation
they have
for
nothing in there.
relocating people
Right.
as need arises or as they rotate.
It has to be in there, or they have to have money.
Yeah. I'm sure that's built into the plan and into the financing structure.
Thoughts, questions? It's not a good project, so.
The resolution before the committee is recommending approval of mortgage insurance and a commitment for the provision thereof for Stye Park Apartments, 77 New York Avenue, Brooklyn, Kings County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Next item, item number 5, is a resolution approving 100% mortgage insurance on a $4.7 million HFA permanent first mortgage loan for Hudson Art House Lofts on River Street, Troy, in Rensselaer County. Lauren?
Hudson Art House Lofts is the historic readaptation of a vacant commercial building into an 80-unit low to moderate income building in Troy. 72 units are restricted at 60% of AMI or below, and 8 units at 90% of AMI. The transaction also includes the purchase of adjacent vacant lots to provide off-street parking. The building was built in 1895 and housed a shirt and collar manufacturer. Building amenities will include painting studios, performing arts rooms, pottery studio, art gallery, all in an 18,000 square foot basement area. This project is also supported by $5 million in federal low-income housing tax credits, 3.6 from state tax credits, $5 million from federal and state historic tax credits, and a pilot agreement with the Troy IDA. The developer is new to HFA and SONYMA, the Bikino Group based out of state in Missouri. The loan amount is $58,750 per unit, which equals 24% of the project's total development cost of $240,000 per unit. And the project will break even with an 11% vacancy or 13% increase in operating expenses.
It's a nice project.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's a nice
Right on
idea.
a river like that, it's great.
Yeah.
Like that it's in Troy, which seems to be getting some activity these days. That's all good, all good stuff. Any
Okay.
thoughts, comments? Nope, hearing none, let's go.
The resolution before the committee is approving mortgage insurance and a commitment for the provision thereof for Hudson Art House Lofts, 621 River Street, Troy, Rensselaer County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Our next item is a resolution approving 50% mortgage insurance on an $8.395 million HDC permanent first mortgage loan for Sandbird Houses on West 36th Street in Brooklyn, Kings County. Lauren?
Sandbird Houses is the rehabilitation of a 147-unit Mitchell-Lama co-op in Brooklyn, which includes a 13-story building, 24 townhouses. It was originally constructed in 1965. Sandbird is controlled by the co-op's board of directors, which has approved and implemented a 63.5% increase in maintenance to take effect over 3 years, beginning in 2014. The last maintenance increase was in 2009, and the maintenance in 2013 was 40% of AMI, leaving and left the project with insufficient funds to meet operating costs. The project is 4 blocks from the ocean and was damaged in Hurricane Sandy, but storm-related repairs have been completed and damaged units reoccupied. The insured loan will pay for project rehabilitation, including roof, balcony, facade. It's anticipated that there will be additional funding through the city's Build It Back, Pearl programs for energy efficiency upgrades, and it's also expected that a Reso A loan will fund additional repairs and upgrades.
And when do we find out about that? When you say it's anticipated?
I don't think they've been approved yet, and I'm not sure the timeline. We're some time out since they are going into the construction, so in terms of stabilization and other sources, they have time to come in. HDC is also providing a subordinate loan in the amount of $2,250,000, which will pay off existing HDC and HPD loans. The project also receives shelter rent benefits. In 2012, the project elected a new board of directors, and the managing agent was replaced with Metro Management, and some of these changes that I think made this this transaction possible. The loan amount is $57,109 per unit, 72% of the project's rehab cost of $72,000 per unit. It has a low loan-to-value ratio of 36%.
It's interesting, you look at the map, and it's not on the ocean side, it's actually on the Gravesend Bay side, and it's still got damaged, and I wonder what happened to everything else in between, obviously, probably much the same. Any comments, questions, thoughts? Okay.
Then the resolution before the committee is for approval of mortgage insurance and a commitment therefore for Sam Burt Houses, 2675 West 36th Street, Brooklyn, Kings County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Item number 7 is a resolution approving 100% mortgage insurance on a $3 million Bank of America permanent first mortgage loan for Locust Manor family residence. Number 2 on 172nd Street, Bailey Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. Lauren?
Locust Manor is the new construction of a 54-unit low to moderate income apartment building with 19 on-site parking places in Jamaica, Queens. 45 of the units will be at or below 60% of AMI, with 8 units at 80% of AMI. 9 units will be set aside as ADA accessible units, and 9 units will be set aside for victims of domestic violence, with Allen's Women Resources Center providing on-site social services. In addition to the insured mortgage, the project benefits from $9.3 million in federal low-income housing tax credits, $2.8 million from state low-income housing tax credits, a 421A tax abatement, and a Section 8 contract covering 8 units. The developer is DNF Development Group. Its principals are Leonard D'Amico and Peter Flory. This will be the third mortgage that is insured for this development group. The loan amount is $55,500 per unit, which is 19% of the project's total development cost of $293,557 per unit, and breaks even with a 10% vacancy rate or 7% increase in operating expenses.
Say 7%.
7%, yes.
Thoughts, comments? No?
Then the resolution before the committee is approving mortgage insurance and a commitment for provision thereof for Locust Manor Family Residence 2, 172, 172nd Street and Bailey Boulevard, Jamaica, Queens County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Next item, item number 8, is a resolution approving 100% mortgage insurance on a $2.975 million Bank of America permanent first mortgage loan for Brook Point on Gibson Boulevard in Valley Stream in Nassau County.
And Brook Point is very similar in structure to Locust Manor. The developer is the same group, and this is another B of A loan. This project is located in Valley Stream. It is the new construction of a 39-unit low to moderate income building with 29 units at or below 60% of AMI and 8 units at 80% of AMI and 2 units at 90%. 6 of the units are reserved for tenants with physical disabilities and 2 for tenants with vision or hearing disabilities with supportive services provided by Long Island Center for Independent Living. The project will benefit from $7.2 million from federal low-income housing tax credits, $4.4 million from state tax credits, a home loan in the amount of $915,000, and pilot shelter rent agreement with the town of Hempstead IDA. A phase 2 is currently underway to determine the extent of soil contamination that was uncovered in the phase 1. The loan amount is $76,282 per unit, which equals 19% of the project's total development cost of $408,028 per unit, and breaks even with a 10% vacancy or a 9% increase in operating expenses.
Well, I think we ought to comment on the fact that this is a TOD. It's right at the station.
So you know the site, don't you?
It's an important
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
The resolution before the committee is approving mortgage insurance and a commitment for Brook Point, 94-158 Gibson Boulevard, Valley Stream, Nassau County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Our final resolution is one approving 100% mortgage insurance on a 2.8 CPC permanent first mortgage loan for Golden Ridge and Rock Ridge Drive and Route 42 in the town of Thompson in Sullivan County.
This is the new construction of 2 buildings which will contain 81 low-income units, including 20 supportive housing units. This is phase 1 of a multi-phase development which has been approved to construct 350 units on 51 acres. This is an OMH project. OMH will contract to pay debt service on the full loan and to provide operating support and rent subsidies for the supportive units. The project benefits from $12 million from federal low-income housing tax credits, $2.8 million from a housing trust fund subordinate loan, $160,000 NYSERDA grant, and a pilot agreement with the town of Thompson. This is, the developer is Jonah Mandelbaum, who is a repeat CPC, SONYMA borrower. Occupations, Inc. is the operator for the supportive units and has worked on, in partnership with Jonah Mandelbaum, on several recent OMH projects. The MIF has insured numerous projects for Jonah Mandelbaum, which are identified in the materials. The total exposure, including this loan, is $31 million.
Can I make a general comment? I don't know how much of this was intended, but you ended up with 3 preservation and 3 mixed, really mixed with some people who need supportive housing. And I think this is a great
Mix as a,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's nice to see different parts of the state. We have
Mhm.
Brooklyn, Nassau, Sullivan, Westchester.
And don't you love seeing 51 acres upstate and you can't get a half an acre downstate? Yep.
Traffic's a little better too up there. Any other thoughts, comments? Hearing none, let's go to a vote.
The resolution before the committee is for approving mortgage insurance and a commitment for Golden Ridge, Rock Ridge Drive, and Route 42, Town of Thompson, Sullivan County. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion is carried.
Last item number 10, just information, monthly tax surcharge collections, any,
Remains stable through August, approximately 12 million. Seems strong going into September.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly stronger than year to year, certainly much, much stronger over 2 years, and so it's
Yeah,
strong,
the
steady.
August number was not available for the book, but the August number is actually 13 million. So
Higher
it's
stuff.
over the summer.
Yeah, so plenty of activity, that's great. Okay, let's, any other thoughts, comments before we close the meeting? No? Let's,
So then call for a motion to adjourn, and assuming the first and second please entered, previously entered, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
aye.
The motion is carried and the meeting is adjourned.
All done.